Hello, guys. What's up? This is Francisco with Valoriso Capital, and today I'm gonna bring you the trade review of the week. We're also gonna do a quick recap of my trading week. I actually had a really good trading week for myself. It was over a $3,000 trading week, so it was pretty nice. All my trades that I made this week were going to the short side, and we're gonna do a quick recap of the trades that I made in the SMH and the one that I made in Tesla. I think they're going to be good educational videos for you so that you can understand how do I look at the market, what is it that I'm looking for, what are the patterns that suggested that we were going to see more downside in the SMH. We're going to go through my entry points, and also we're going to talk about where was my exit, so how I was handling, I was risking, how much I was risking, and how I was managing that risk. So let's go. Let's just start with the video. First of all, if you please, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe for the video. It really helps me out with the algorithm. And also make sure to subscribe in my Twitter, which is at Valoriso Capital, as you can see here. This is my Twitter account, so make sure to subscribe there as well, since I usually post most of my tradings in real time as fast as I can. Also, I post ideas and things that I'm looking at the market. So first of all, let's start here with the SMH. Is a trade that I did mention on my Twitter account. I mentioned it on February 18. And I was talking about this is, by the way, the chart that I was looking at the SMH. I just inverted it. So it's basically the chart upside down. And I was talking how SMH was able to find support at that 21 exponential moving average, and that we were starting to see some basically bottoming action that suggested that we were going to make more downside. So I did mention SMH, and if we quickly go here, I was also talking about Tesla. I was looking at the squeeze. You know that if you have been following my Twitter account or my channel in YouTube, you can see that I usually use the squeeze as a way to find explosive moves in the market, and I also use the daily moving averages. And here I was looking at the 200 DMA, and I was seeing how Tesla was testing it for the second time, and I was looking for the squeeze to fire to the downside so that Tesla made another leg lower. So that was what I was looking for, and we can go back to the charts. So here in SMH, I was mentioning it, right? This is the normal chart. So this is not the inverse chart, but the normal chart. And you can see SMH, right? We had this really strong move to the downside after the 21 cross barely with the 50 DMA. So here I have the 21 exponential moving average, which is the blue line. I have the 50 DMA, which is the purple line, and I have the 200 DMH, which is the pink line right here. So we saw that, right, SMH saw a lot of distribution until we finally broke to the downside. And the moment that we started to find some support, right, we bounced right here into the, you can see that we bounced right here into the 21, into a declining 21 exponential moving average. We found support at that 200, and then we actually make a higher high. But look at this candle right here. You can see where the candle closed, right? Basically, the candle went all the way to test 290, but of course, it closed below that 21 exponential moving average, and then we have a really move. We have a strongly move down to the downside. And if we just take a look at the volume real quick here, so let me just plug in the volume. This is the enhanced volume by Trader Lion. You can see right here how the selling volume was actually pretty high for the SMH. Then we actually make another bounce. As you can see here, we made a lower low, and then we made another bounce. And as you can see, some of you might be familiarized with the head and shoulders topping pattern. So we were seeing kind of a head and shoulders here, really small, but really valid. And then what happened, you can see that the selling, as soon as we broke that 200 DMA right here, the selling was intensifying. So that was what actually caught my attention, thinking that SMH could actually make a really strong move to the downside. So I was looking at this shelf right here, as you saw on the Twitter that I posted, and actually, my first entry was right here, right above that shelf, using this 200 DMA as my covering, guys. So I was using that 200 DMA as my stop. And I was just looking for SMH to actually make a lower low, which is exactly what happened. And if we go to if we actually go to my buys and sells, you can see here SMH right? Let me just change the color here really quickly. Here you can see SMH that I mentioned it on February 18. So that was the first time that I shorted SMH. You can see that I sold 18 shares of stock, each one at 266 bucks. And then I added the next trading day, because I think that this was a Friday. I added on the 22nd, and I sold another nine, adding to my position. And as you can see, I took my profits. You can only see the time here, but this was on the 24th. I sold, well, I bought back all my positions, so I basically covered. And this was a really nice gain for me. This was somewhere, if you do the math, this is somewhere around a 6.95% gain. And if you just do the quick math, I think this is somewhere around $500 for this trade alone. So it was a pretty nice trade for me. And as you can see, we go back to the chart really quickly. You can see basically that the chart here in the SMH, let me go here. We were looking at right here. Yeah. If we go back here to the chart in the SMH, you can see, right, it's not that I shorted right at the top and I was able to capture all the move way down. Basically, I was just looking for a short-term trade because the market has been really volatile. I just shorted right here. I was using this as my stop. And as soon as we got down on the 24, I was able to capture that, and I covered myself. As you saw, I think I covered myself somewhere around 247. If we go back here, you can see that I covered myself at 247.46. I actually covered myself pre-market because I was seeing that we were gapping down pretty strongly to the downside. So now let's move into the next trade that I want to cover, and that one is the trade in Tesla. So let's type here, right? Let's go with Tesla really quickly. And the thing that I was looking in Tesla, and let me just plug the squeeze. That was the actually what I was using for me to guide myself in the direction of this trade. We can clearly see that Tesla was kind of doing the same, right? We have this really strong move to the downside. We got the bearish cross of the 21 exponential moving average and the 50-day. Tesla finds support right at this 200-day. And then we had this really strong move to the upside. But what happened? Tesla was unable to move above that 21 exponential moving average. That shows you how weak the action by buyers actually is. So I was looking for more downside here in Tesla. So what was my trigger? My trigger happened this day right here when the squeeze started to move up, but then it started to lose momentum to the downside. And if you just pay attention to the volume, which is really important, you can see that we were moving up in decreasing volume. And as soon as Tesla got rejected on this day right here, you can see that the volume is starting to increase. And the volume continued to increase as we were moving to the downside. So my first purchase on Tesla was on this day right here. I was anticipating that there was the possibility that we were going to break below this 200-day moving average. And I was using at that moment, since I just started my position, I was using this 21 exponential moving average as my covering guide. As soon as we broke that 200-day on this day, I added to my position. And then the next day, I added again. As soon as we tested that one and it started failing and we broke below this level, I added to my position again. And the way I was tracking my target, I was just basically using the breakout level from this base that we had right here. That was exactly how I was tracking my target, and you can see that I got out somewhere around this level right here. If we go really quickly to the through the through the trade position, actually, you can see, as I was mentioning on the chart, I got my first position on February 18, right, which I sold to. So I was scaling in into this position. Remember that you don't have to buy everything at the same time. You can scale in into the position. As soon as Tesla broke that 200, I added two again, and then as we retested it, right, I added one more time, and then I added one more time. So I ended up having 7 shares short, and then I cover myself on the 24 at 2 somewhere around 3 p.m. You can see that I cover myself at 772, and this was somewhere around a 7% gain in Tesla, and I think it was somewhere around 400 bucks. So it was a really nice trade for me, and you can see that the way that I was managing this trade, I was adding in, right? I was adding as Tesla was moving in my favor. So that's how you do it, right? If Tesla starting to moving in the other direction, I wouldn't add it to the position. I just add to a position if it is working. That is what adding to your winners mean, right? You only add to your position if the position is actually working on your favor. And the only thing that you do in way to manage it, right? At the beginning, my stop was at the 21 exponential moving average, but then as soon as I was adding to my position, then I just started using this 200 as my covering guide. So that way you keep your losers small, and you're looking for a good target to the downside, so that way you can keep your winners bigger than your losers. And you can see the volume right here that was increasing as well with the squeeze. So that's always a really nice way to track for these opportunities. And as you can see, I was mentioning Tesla on my Twitter, and I was mentioning SMH in my Twitter again, in my Twitter as well. So make sure to give me a follow there as well. And if you guys want to check, right, I don't have anything to hide. If you guys want to check my PNL, this is my PNL for the week. You can see right here, this is the last 7 days, and you can see here that it says somewhere around 2,856 bucks. And the reason why I have this line going to the downside is because I actually make some withdrawals, right? That on February 24, you can see here that I actually took some money out. You can see here is the first withdrawal on the 24, and then I did another withdrawal, and this is basically me just taking some money out of the market for my own personal uses. And if you just do the math, right, if you sum this and then you sum this and then you just add it to the P&L of the week, it's gonna give you somewhere around 3,300 bucks. So that was actually a pretty nice week for me, guys. Right? I actually, it was a week without any losers, so it doesn't always happen. But when it happens, is actually is always a really nice week to have. And this was basically me just looking for trades to the downside. These are the two biggest trades that I made, which is Tesla and SMH. But I also traded some other names. If you guys follow me on Twitter, you can see I was mentioning I was also shorting Snapchat. I was also short MRBL. I think that I was also short Bros. I think I was also short Live Nation and some other names. I think I was also short AMD. So the thing here, guys, remember, having somewhere around 5 to 10 trades is always a good idea. You add conviction to the ones that are actually moving in your favor, and then if everything ends up moving to your favor, it's always a nice thing to have. So these are also some trades that I make to the short side as well. So thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. If you guys want me to review a name that you guys are watching perhaps, or to go over other of the shorts that I took this last week, I'll be happy to do so. uh, thank you so much, guys, for watching, and I hope that you have an amazing rest of your weekend. So take care and cheers. Thanks.